most common question I get now that Agnes is out of my life, and I've missed the boat. Have you guys not getting this one? I mean, I've gotten where it's like, oh my gosh, you know, I should have joined when AJ might have told me 4 years ago I should join. Is it real? So about a year ago, I was on a Zoom. Do you guys like Zooms? By the way, I'm only this big on Zooms. You know, I'm like this big. So I'm on this Zoom a year ago with this gentleman, and AJ says, Gene, I've been working on him for 3 or 4 years. I've gone to church with him. I know him unbelievable well. He's a great influencer. He's going to kill it. I've heard this before. And he looked like Duck Dynasty. Have you guys seen the guys from Duck Dynasty? His beard was down here. I said, where do you live? He goes, I don't know. I just live in my car with my wife, and we just drive all over the United States. And I went, oh my God, AJ, what are you thinking? This guy looks, and on a Zoom, it was like, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. But I was told by AJ, I've been working on this guy, and if we get this guy, he's going to rock it. Guess what? This is the new record holder. He joined September 8th. I asked him September 8th a year ago, so he's still got a couple more weeks. He's got 850 people on his team. So the new record's going to be over 900 people in a year. Now here's the thing. Set huge goals, right? You guys got them all written down? Are they in your pocket now? Can I ask you for them? I'm going to ask you for them later. Anybody wants a picture with me, you better have your goals written down. I'm not gonna take a selfie until I see it, handwritten. So let me give it up for Mr. John Mikesh. You're gonna learn. Woo!
Wow. If the kids in high school could see me now coming out to that song. Oh man, back then we did things that were illegal and now they're apparently legal. Guys, I've been on this real estate journey now for 20 years. And I don't know how I got here. But I know it's a massive honor to speak to you and a massive responsibility. So I'm going to share some things with you that I think are going to be helpful no matter where you are in your real estate journey, whether you just started, whether you're getting licensed, or whether you're a veteran. So let's talk about going negative to positive. Man, I got a story to tell. And it starts right over here in the negative with something I had to learn. You see, the real estate industry is a funny industry. It really is. These guys wanted me to come into their industry. They didn't realize that, like, I barely graduated high school. I didn't get accepted to any colleges, and even if I did, I was flat broke and I wouldn't have gone anyway. So at 22 years of age, I become a realtor, which I was quickly told is realtor. Don't ever make that mistake. You walk in the first day of the office and you're like, hey, I'm the new realtor. And they're like, what? That's like a bad word. So I start my career. I don't know what I don't know. I'm living in my parents' unfinished basement, of course, right? Where else does a broke 22-year-old live? And I was hungry, I guess, right? I got after it. And my wife and I, we got together, we got married, and we had big dreams. And we decided, you know what? You're doing all right at this real estate thing. Let's go down to North Carolina and start a new life down there together. Sounds cool. I got this. Well, I get down to North Carolina, and when you think you know, right? I don't know anything. Like, I was completely lost. I ended up having to get 3 jobs. I was dead broke. I was in debt up to my eyeballs. And the conversation in my house at that time went something like this. Honey, and she did the accounting, so very delicate. Should we pay the car payment this month or the mortgage payment? Like, it sucked. And I don't know if any of you have been in a financial crisis before. Maybe you're in one right now. But I know it sucks. And I feel you. Like, I'll always relate to that pain. I felt scared. I felt strangled. I felt like a prisoner. And what do prisoners do? They get angry. And I was angry. More about that in a minute. But one day, I'm sitting in the office, dialing for dollars, and in walks Jerry. And Jerry's peacocking around with these tickets to this training event. He's like, oh, come on, we'll go. It's $500. You'll split the cost with me. We'll ride in the car together, and we'll go 9 hours to Florida. And I'm thinking, crap, I don't want to be in the car with Jerry for 9 hours, but I need something to change. A lot of you are here right now because you want something to change too. But change always requires action. So I called my mom, I told her I needed to borrow $500, and I got in that car and I went to Florida with Jerry. Now, when we arrived at the beautiful hotel where the venue was, exhausted from this 9-hour car ride with Jerry, we didn't stay there. No. We stayed at the seedy motel, literally on the other side of the tracks. And it was 1 room, 2 beds, and 3 guys. What do they say about hitting rock bottom? The only place to go is up. Ladies and gentlemen, I went to bed that night praying that I was at my rock bottom. Couldn't wait for the event to happen tomorrow. I woke up with hope and optimism, and I showed up at that event. I was like, man, something's gonna change for me today. And it did. I saw thousands of people selling more homes, making more money than I ever even dreamed possible. Made it to lunch. At the lunch break, I called my wife. I don't have any money, so I don't have any money for lunch anyway. And I'm like, honey, I don't know what's going on, but I feel like I died and went to a real estate heaven. I don't know what they're doing, but whatever they're doing, I'm doing when I get home. She could care less, right? She's like, we're broke. If you buy anything, we're gonna be divorced by the time you get home. What's a guy to do, right? You know? So I go back in the event. I sign up for the coaching. I pre-register for the next event. I bought all the technology. You know what I did? I got smart because everybody would rush to the back of the room. I just stayed at the back of the room. I made friends with one of those girls at the table, and I said, I don't have any money. She said, don't worry about it. We're not going to charge your credit card for 90 days. I was relieved. I didn't spend any money. I went home. My wife was still there. All was good. Now, the point to this is, over the next 90 days before that payment came, I made more money than I had ever earned in a year before. I got the education. How important is education? Education is everything. Now listen, I love RevShare. Stocks are phenomenal. But I think that when we're out there prospecting, we need to put a little bit more emphasis on the education because there is no better community in our industry than the one right here. We have the best people willing to mentor, coach, train, support, willing to show us the ways. So once I had the education and I got busy, the next part of my story was I needed to get some leverage. Because once I started to sell a few homes, I was like, oh yeah, I'm making money. Money's good, but I got no time. And I dreamed of not only having money, but having time freedom as well. So what did I do? I built a team, because that's what they told me to do. That was the next step on my journey. And I built a team, and it was really cool because I felt fulfillment. Because I was now showing people that were struggling in my marketplace how to sell a lot of homes. I was generating all the leads for them. We were splitting the commission 50-50. We were both happy. And that lasted for a little while. I call it my real estate team building honeymoon. Lasted about 5 years. And then I had a problem. Somebody left. I thought it was one of those problems that don't really have a name, you know, like a one-off problem. And then it happened again. Oh yeah, it's got a name. It's called agent retention. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I'm bringing you in, I'm buying all the leads, I'm taking all the risk, you're selling more homes than you ever did, and you're gonna leave? I have a problem. I was born in New York. Us New Yorkers, where's all my New Yorkers out? We got some New York? Oh man, it's a beautiful thing. So us New Yorkers, we got this thing in common. We're born with an extra gene. The rest of you don't have it. It's called the FU gene. And now, some of you actually express it from time to time. You're just not born with it. So my top producer leaves. Dude, F you. Another girl leaves. F you. Oh, and you're leaving with her? F you too. I was like, you know what? I ain't gonna chase you. I'll replace you. You leave, you're dead to me. And that was how I operated. And as Benjamin Hardy says in his great work, Willpower Doesn't Work, if you're not embarrassed by the person you were 12 months ago, you were not growing enough. And I had a very negative mindset then, and it was toxic. Because how many of us understand that those bad attitudes that we have, they hurt us the most? And I was quickly becoming very unfulfilled and unsatisfied by this business. Oh, and then the old proverbial last straw. You know, that one person that's never gonna leave, he left. And it was hard, and I didn't want to do it anymore. And when that one person left, I lost my best friend that day. And I lost any kind of care for this business at all. And as that stress built up and the people are leaving and I'm spending more money to make the same money, I had conversations with my wife, and because both of us have the FU gene, those conversations really sounded more like heated arguments to my daughter. We were like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? There's gotta be something else. And out of those conversations came a crazy idea, a new plan. Where we sold the lake house, we sold the cars, the furniture, the boats, everything. And we bought a van. Hence the beard. The van was awesome. Because when I was in the van, I found a whole nother freedom called location freedom. And I liked it. Some of you might be nodding right now because you have a pain in your life, whatever that is, and that van sounds like an escape, and it was. But it gave me perspective. And it was during that time in that van when I had so little that I never was happier. And I decided with my wife that we were done with real estate. Or at least I thought. We made one last trip across the country. And during that trip, we stopped in to visit with our friends AJ and Abby, who were living full-time in Puerto Rico, but happened to be stateside because they were visiting family and celebrating the birth of their first child. And we stopped in to celebrate that milestone with them. And also share with them what our plans were. And our plans were that we were gonna limit our focus on real estate. And we were going to open up clean juice bar franchises. If you've seen my social over the last week, you know I've been grinding that because we had signed the paperwork. We were committed, we were done with real estate. And because I was mentally done with real estate, I was happy to talk to AJ about this EXP thing. So I said, AJ, how's it going? When are they gonna change that logo? I mean, for heaven's sakes, that logo. And do you think this will last? And he said to me, actually, they're working on changing the logo right now. And the company's growing more than it's ever had before. And I'm making this amount of income. You're making what? He was making more income than I had ever earned owning my own successful real estate brokerage. And I'm like, how can that be? So I'm thinking, man, this is interesting. AJ's very gracious, very nice guy. Like, I gave him a lot of crap for EXP for a lot of years, and he just kind of, so we scheduled a call for the following week. I thought I was showing up on that call to give him some good ideas that would help him. Funny, right? He seized that opportunity, people. He showed me EXP, and I looked at it, and it looked good. And then I studied it. And as I studied it, I started to ask that internal question. What would it look like if I ... Once you see it, you can't unsee it. So I come over to EXP. And I had spent my whole career up to that point trying to build a lifestyle based on financial freedom and time freedom. And all I built was a headache that hurt me so bad. Glenn Sanford once said, building a traditional real estate brokerage is brain damage, and he's right. But I was okay with the brain damage part. You know what really got me? The heart disease. It hurt so bad I didn't want anything to do with it. But I saw an opportunity with EXP to where not only could I have financial freedom and time freedom, but I could also have location freedom. And it's such a rare combination, and I'm so grateful to the owners of this company because they did something for all of us. They were pioneers. AJ, the other leaders, the other people you're gonna hear on stage. I'm just a new guy that's walking down a double-lane paved road. They say I did it fast. I did it fast because of the toil and the sweat that those guys put in, because of the risk that they put in. And that's the same opportunity for all you. Someone's gonna do it faster tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. Guys, this company has changed my life. And the combination of time freedom, financial freedom, and location freedom gives us margin in our lives. And the only question is, what are you gonna do with that margin? Are you gonna continue to bury your coins and build a lifestyle for yourself? Are you going to invest your coins in other people and build a legacy with EXP? Everybody in this room, listen to me. There's somebody not in this room that's counting on you to make the right decision. It's been an honor.